Good evening. Today is Friday, December the 4th. Today in pre-calculus, we looked at a concept of verifying identities. So I will share the screen so you can see the whiteboard here and show you a couple of examples of what we did today. So when you are verifying identities, you're doing just that. You're showing that they are, in fact, identities. Now, the interesting thing that always happens every year when I teach this section, I'll have one or two students that will come up and say, they're not true. They don't equal each other. But the point here is when it says verifying the identities, you are being told that they are identities. So if you don't get them to be equal to each other, or the two sides of the equation equal, then something happened. So let me show you a couple of examples here. The first one here, we've got 2 cosecant x equals, and we're going to have 1 divided by cosecant x plus cotangent x, okay, here, plus cotangent x, close parentheses, okay, and then plus 1 divided by cosecant x minus cotangent x. Okay, now if you notice here, when we're verifying identities, the one thing you cannot do, you cannot assume the equal sign, so you can't do any of your normal arithmetic operations which require you to multiply or add the same thing to both sides or anything. You've got to work with one side or the other or both. So if you'll notice here, what we will do here, when we've got on the right side, we've got fractions, so we're going to get a common denominator. So if I come down here, I'm just going to I'll leave the equal sign there. So we'll come across. Now, so my denominator is going to be the product of those two denominators there. Now you remember, anytime you see something like cosecant x plus cotangent x and cosecant x minus cotangent x, that's the difference of squares factoring. So what we're going to end up with on the bottom here is cosecant squared x minus cotangent squared x. Okay, that's what the bottom is going to be. Now, the numerator up here will then be, okay, we have to multiply the first term by this, so we have cosecant x minus cotangent x, and then we've got in the middle there plus, and we multiply the second term here by the denominator of the first term, so then we have cosecant x plus cotangent x. Now, if you'll notice what happens here, see, we have a minus cotangent x and a plus cotangent x, so those two are going to cancel. So if we come down here with our next term now, and the other thing, if you'll go back and look at your Pythagorean identities, the cotangent squared x plus 1 equals the cosecant squared x. So cosecant squared x minus cotangent squared x is, on the bottom here, it's just, let me put this in here, it's just 1. Now, so, and what we get up top, when we have cosecant x plus cosecant x, we end up with 2 cosecant x. So if you'll notice now, what we have done is we have shown that the right side is equal to the left side. 2 cosecant x equals 2 cosecant x. Now, That's the whole concept of verifying identities. You're using your trig identities, your reciprocal identities, your quotient identities, and your Pythagorean identities to make the right side look like the left side or to make the left side look like the right side, okay? Now let me show you one other one here. Once again, anytime you've got this, if you want to pause and look at what we did here for a second, then you can go on and restart the video. But I'll go ahead and erase this, what we have here, this section here, and I'll show you another example. And in this case, we're going to have, this example is going to be a little bit longer. So we've got cotangent x times secant x times cosecant squared x minus cotangent cubed x times secant x, and we're going to try to show that this is equal to cosecant x. Okay. Now, so when you have something like this, when it gets to be long, you start thinking to yourself that there's got to be a way to simplify this, or there's got to be a way to make it a little bit smaller. So if you start looking at what you have common here, so you have a cotangent x here and a cotangent cubed x here. So I can take out a cotangent x. So I've got a cotangent x. And then you notice I have a secant x here and I have a secant x in the second term. So that is times secant x. Now, and what's left is this cosecant squared x here, cosecant squared x minus the cotangent squared x. Now, and I still have the equals cosecant equals cosecant x on the right side. Now, so if you'll notice here, once again, we go right back. Anytime you're looking at trig function squared, like cosecant squared x here and cotangent squared, what you're working with here is the trig identity, which says cotangent squared x plus 1 equals cosecant squared x. So if you'll notice, I have cosecant squared x minus cotangent squared x. So I bring this minus cotangent squared across the equal sign, and what I'm left with is just 1. So what I end up with here, so if I come over here now, I have cotangent x times secant x times that 1 equals the cosecant x. Now, when you get something like this, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and change everything to sine over cosine. So what I have here is, if you look, I'll draw my division line across here. Now, the cotangent here gives me a cosine on the top. So I got a cosine x on the top. I've got a sine x on the bottom. Okay, now the secant x is, okay, so I'm going to have times, I'm going to have on the top here times 1, because the secant x is 1 over the cosine x. So I come down here on the bottom now, I'm multiplying this by cosine x. Now, what you'll notice here is the two cosine, this cosine and this cosine will cancel each other. So I'm left with 1 over sine x, and 1 over sine x is cosecant x. So I have cosecant x equals cosecant x. Okay, so these are a couple of examples of problems. Now, if you look in your textbook and kind of read through the other examples there at the beginning of section 5.2, and then once again, work your homework. And if you have questions about a particular problem, then send me an email. Let me know I'm working on problem, say 5 on page 320, and I don't understand how to go from where I am. So, and I'll get back to you and explain to you how to get through the problem. Okay. So I'll close the, stop the share now. I hope you are feeling better. What we will do next week in class, on Monday, I will post the, or I will pass out the study guide for the semester exam. So I will post that. And the easiest thing for me to do probably is to post it as an attachment to an email. So I will try to do that to each one of you before Monday, so you can see what the study guide looks like, and you can tell what you need to work on for the midterm or for the semester exam. So have a good weekend. I hope you're feeling better, and I'll be back with you on Monday.